this is my theory, okay? She and Sandman were planning to do something tonight. I propose that maybe this is part of the act. Okay, she's an actress after all, right? And maybe she and Sandman, unbeknownst to the rest of the cast or to most of the cast, are pulling something off, and this is part of it. And we'll see next week how she is really alive and well.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 127 of Purple Hyacinth, Cathedral Crisis. We're here with Bundin and Fwoot.
Hi.
Hello.
And Veronica may or may not be joining us later, so just keeping y'all informed. So we are about to enter what we hope and we think is going to be a very exciting arc. So,
I think, like I said this in the server earlier, but I think this is the most named important characters all in one spot. I think the closest we've ever come to this is either the factory or circus arcs. But this is the most key players I think we've seen in one spot. And based on how this episode ended, I think it's about to go down.
Yeah, I actually, by the way, I remember last time we talked about it, I was like, well, the only main character who isn't going to show up is going to be Kieran. And when, we get Kieran, not in the same location, but in the same episode.
I think what's implied, or what I think is going to go down, is going to have a lot of people in and around the opera house, running, escaping, tracking people down. I want characters who don't interact to interact so bad. I want it so much, and we'll talk about this more later, obviously.
I know, right? We're starting with the predictions already.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like this arc is almost like a warm-up for the gala arc or cocktail party. I don't know if those two are different right now, but definitely a warm-up to a precursor almost for that arc, because we've seen a lot of build-up towards this opera arc, but we've seen even more build-up for that gala, which is happening in a week or so.
Yeah, it was literally that was mentioned. I was rereading Purple Hyacinth, and it's in I don't know, episode 3 or something. It's
episode 7.
7, okay.
Yeah.
Set up. It's been building to this for years, so it's gonna, the feeling that this is gonna be kind of a warm-up for what's to come. If this is the warm-up, then it's that's gonna be crazy.
All right, so we start out with our Vicomte Redcliff walking into Neyra and Will's booth, looking impeccable with just his couture. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Couture. I have an accent, so I probably can't say, and my grandmother's French, so a lot of words I just say with an exaggerated French accent. So
I mean, couture is definitely from French originally, so why not? So with his couture, the cape, the red back, the cane, the puffy sleeves. I mean, it's not called puffy. I don't know what it's called. Hanging sleeves, bell sleeves. Oh,
he's got
pirate sleeves.
Yeah, the pirate sleeves.
Pirate. I think they're. Wow, I'm so bad at fashion.
I don't know what they're called. I just call them the pirate sleeves. We see Kieran wear them a lot.
Bell sleeves. What are they called?
I don't know. It's every man in a period drama wears this type of shirt.
Yeah, they're called bell sleeves, according to Google. So
nice. The man knows how to dress and is attractive, sadly.
Well, it's a good moral lesson. Just because you look good on the outside doesn't mean you are good on the inside.
Tale as old as time.
And it teaches us because, we love to simp over pretty people. So here we face some conflict, and it's good for us to know, it's not, we can't just fall for people just because they're good looking.
It's been kind of funny to watch people try to moralize their attraction to Redcliff.
Well, I have been trying to give him some hope, right? Which you make a very good point. Not everyone needs to be redeemed. Someone needs to be the villain. That's a very good point. But maybe it's my bias here.
Yeah, I don't know, because Redcliff, in terms of redemption for him, although we don't know a lot, there have been a lot of inferences we've been able to make about his relationship to Bella. And so while I'm not necessarily concerned about him as a villain and whether he gets a redemption because he's like an apostle, my concern for that mainly stems from his relationship with Bella and how he has like stripped her of autonomy over the years. Like, honestly, the apostle stuff, I don't care. Anyone could probably come back from that. But from being
Lauren's
an
parents.
abuser, yeah, Lauren's parents, grade A example. But, you know, Redcliff is an abuser and he gaslights and manipulates Bella. And I think that's a whole different territory than just like killing people like Kieran or Bella.
I like your moral compass here. But I mean, I do think that there could be truth to what you're saying. Like, I don't think we know too much about the leader, right? But the leader, it seems to be a little bit more, let's say, self-delusional or in his idealism. There are a lot of people who have like a very extreme idealistic personality and who end up leading like very extreme groups or groups that become very extreme over time. Like, let's say they start out idealistic and then they just get worse and worse and they become like totalitarian. I think that's something you can see in history a lot. Someone like Redcliff, I do think it's possible. Like, I don't know how he started out. I think that Soph and F may give him like an interesting like beginning. I think it would be interesting if he started out with better intentions, but you are right that the direct one-on-one manipulation does show a certain sliminess that is different, I think, in quality than like a person who is gonna order someone to be killed or like order violence. I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's different when it's personal and manipulative. Like, it's just a different kind of bad, you know?
Yeah, also on top of that, we have his conflict with the leader, where we see the leader as having this more of like a strong like moral compass in terms of his morals, but Redcliff seems to be purely running on like selfish reasons, wanting everything to benefit him in the long run and not necessarily the cause. So on top of that, you have a very selfish guy who's done very bad things, organized bad things, looking to blow up everybody. And it's not even for like a cause, which I don't even know if that's better or worse, but there's no reason to it other than being selfish, which in a way makes him almost worse than the leader in a way, but also they're doing the same things and it has the same impact to everybody else in the long run. So it is kind of an interesting thing that like one may be perceived as like better than the other, even though they're both doing terrible things and should be condemned for it. So,
but you know, it's a good question, because remember, we were introduced in the beginning, we were told that A7 is, you know, wants to do this explosion because, you know, leader is taking too long and he wants to start the revolution already or whatever, which, you know, questionable on like whether the explosion actually accomplishes whatever they think it will accomplish. But so ostensibly he says, oh, I want to fix things fast, you know, or faster than the leader. But I totally agree. I think that he's like a mercenary kind of character. I think he uses whatever it takes to get, as long as he's puffed up and he is like benefiting, which I do think it's very possible that he's obviously helped a lot of people along the way, but through weird motivations. I don't know. I don't know if he has consistent motivations. I think that he's either the motivations have not been presented to us clearly, like as readers, meaning like the writing is not really, you know, like there is no coherency, or he's just a very slippery kind of character who, you know, can use the fabric or the pretense of, you know, idealism just to further his own self-interest.
It's very like billionaires donating to charity to get a tax break. It is very that. I don't know, that's the vibe I get from him. Like he'll do all these nice things to save face and benefit him in the long run, not out of any moral obligation. At least from what we've seen. We don't know. We could learn more about his backstory. He could be compelling, still doing bad things to people and should be held accountable for that.
I find it kind of surprising, Mindy, that you don't really see Redcliff as a very consistent character, or like you see that as like a facet of him, that he's not like super consistent over what we've learned about him, because I've kind of thought that he has been on the more consistent side lately, but I think it's because my interpretation of him is a lot different from yours, and I've noticed that in a lot of the podcasts that we've done together, because I see Redcliff as someone who kind of, as Bundin was saying, is like long-term planning, right? getting all these pieces in order. And there has been a point recently to sort of say how much control Redcliff has over different groups. So like he has a lot of control over people in the Phantom Scythe because he's willing to take action, whereas the other Phantom Scythe leaders have not. And then there's the royals point out how Redcliff has a lot of support from like the lower and maybe middle classes of Artalis, because he actually like sticks up for them and he helps like fund their programs and invests in the areas that they live. And so I've kind of seen Redcliff as a very like strategic character, and he makes a lot of moves that like seem very helpful, right? But really what he wants is the support of the people. And I could say that you even see that with Bella, because it's implied that he's the one who gives her the golden viper knife, therefore empowering her, kind of like how he funds the South Shore. But we still know that Redcliff, it's good for Redcliff / Apostle 7 to keep Bella on his side, even though she's not really, because he wants her to work for him and to do all these assassinations and work for him.
Does he know that she's working with the leader specifically against him? I don't think he does. If he did, he would probably use Neyra more against her. But yeah, I want to see how that resolves, because she's been double crossing him to work for the leader. So yeah, I'm curious about how that's gonna resolve in the plot.
I think there was an offline that Redcliff said about how he knew that the leader knew what he was doing back in like 114.
Right. I don't think he knows that Bella was the one reporting.
Yeah, but then we see him with Bella, and it really doesn't seem like he's super suspicious of her associating with the leader, more just her not being invested in doing her job.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Fwoot, I like how you presented Redcliff. So, I mean, according to that vision of Redcliff, him wanting to, take the action faster is not because he's benevolent and wants to like help people in the weird twisted terrorist logic, but because he just wants to be liked and control people in the Phantom Scythe.
Well, I think it's because he has that power right now. Like he has established himself as a powerful force, and he has garnered enough support that he can be making these moves, whereas the leader cannot.
Court of public opinion is strong.
Yeah, I see it. That makes sense. All right. Well, I suspect we'll be getting to see more of him, so we can hopefully unpack him more. So here he, says, please forgive our tardiness. I didn't know. That sounds like they had an appointment, which it doesn't seem they did, but okay. And he says, I am Albert Redcliff, and once again we bemoan his unfortunate name. It's it's not so bad if you think about it in like an old-fashioned context, I guess.
Albert was a popular name back in the day as well.
I mean, I
A
guess
lot of kings of England originally were named Albert and then changed it to more English sounding names so that, they didn't show how German they were.
I mean, I guess it probably was a nice name for their time, but we just all associate it with our grandpas, so.
I associate it with my high school, but that's a whole different thing.
But yeah, we've actually known that his name was Albert since the season 2 recap.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. If you go back, it's there. So, but this is the first time we've really seen it like within the narrative.
Yeah, and he's like, and this is the beautiful Lady Laura Montgomery. And some people were speculating, like, is she going to be part of the plot? Frankly, I think the fact that she does not have a distinct character design and that she appears like very, very slightly means that she's just a side character. But,
agreed.
Yeah, I wonder what her relationship is to Redcliff, though.
I mean, she's a person of nobility if she's got a title, but like arm candy, cover, daughter of an associate.
I was thinking like maybe she would be an apostle, but all the apostles are like kind of against him, so it's unlikely. But it's just there's a lot of apostle positions that I wonder in the end, will we know who all of these people are, or are they just going to die apostle, because there's a lot of like positions, and I don't think all of the older characters that we know can fill that many positions.
I want some lady apostles as well. Like, I hope that they have some women in there, just like, you know, if they're all about equality.
Yeah.
Opportunity
The-
villains.
The leader may be a terrorist, but he's also a feminist.
You need every
Yeah, I saw her and I was like, oh, she's not gonna be a main character because of her character design and like the way that she's just drawn with like less detail. Like, unfortunate, because I feel like I would like her for reasons that you two both know. So
wait,
Yeah.
what?
Why? Because her name's Laura Montgomery?
yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
Bundin, I knew I wasn't the only one
Laura
thinking this.
Montgomery. Am I missing out on some pop knowledge that I should know?
My first name is Laura.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Fine.
Bundin, I thought you meant it's because Lauren Montgomery,
No.
who's
I
a
thought
like
that too,
producer
though.
of who's a producer of a show that Bundin and I both watched back in the
We don't
day
talk
called
about it. We don't talk about it.
Voltron Legendary Defender. You know, it's nothing.
Okay.
But that's
Well-
what my mind went to.
Well, maybe that's why she chose the name. So, or a. Anyway, whether or not she is a main character remains to be seen. Likelihood low. And Neyra gets up. Do not worry yourselves at all. I am Lady Neyra and Darcy. It is a pleasure to meet you both. I think they meant they're just late for the show. I guess I don't know. And they do the whole like kissing the hands thing, and it's gross. And there's a whole zoomed up panel of Redcliff kissing her hand. You're like, go away.
That should have been me. That should have been me kissing her hand.
Aw.
Self-insert. It's
Draw
okay.
yourself in their food.
Is this the first time? No. Well, I don't know. Is this the first time that we've seen someone kiss someone? Like,
No, we've seen I feel like we've seen people kiss the hand before. Like,
Okay.
you know, with-
we might have seen Will kiss Neyra's hand at the party. I'm
Oh.
not entirely
Yeah.
sure.
They count these things.
But yeah,
Such nice eyelashes.
I was about to say
Sorry.
pretty eyelashes, but he's such a bad person. Like the way that Soph drew the eyelashes on this man, I'm like, you
It's
made him
not
pretty
there.
for this reason, and I'm mad about it.
I really hope
Um.
that Neyra's gloves are like surgical gloves because she needs as much protection she can from Redcliff.
I can feel Neyra like cringing deep in her soul at this. But I feel like everything that she does in this high society bullshit makes her cringe on the inside.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by the "it's a pleasure to meet you both" because I was wondering, like, was Neyra like aware of Redcliff through Bella? Because he was definitely aware of Neyra through Bella, but it seems like they haven't ever like formally met, so he's never actually seen her in person.
Well,
I think
she was talking.
is.
She was talking with the queen about him, right? So she's
Mhm.
supposed to, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, she knows about Redcliff from his like nobility and stuff and through her job, but she also has that relationship with Bella, and he is also very close to Bella. So I wonder if like Bella has ever mentioned him to her.
Oh, I would assume so. If they had any type of relationship, like how could you not mention your father figure? No?
I think so, because when we
Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so like I'm pretty sure Neyra knows who Bella is and what her job is, and I don't know, they seem to know a lot about each other, and I think that, you know, that whole thing was like something that Neyra knew, and I have a feeling that Neyra specifically chose to sit in the booth with him and told Bella to meet her at the opera or something, because we know that she leaves Bella a note in her trailer again, and so Bella's there, like I assume that she got that nice seat up in the balcony through Neyra, I don't know, but she's almost surprised to see Neyra there as well, so I don't know exactly. Maybe it was a play on Neyra to both one get in with Redcliff through because of what she has to do for the queen, but also something with Bella and their like whole situation. Don't know what exactly, but I feel like Neyra is pulling some strings in the background.
Oh, given how Bella wasn't expecting to see Neyra there, I'm pretty sure that the note Neyra left in Bella's trailer was the one that she originally intended to give her back in episode 89. And that was a note with probably like an address because she wanted to meet up with Bella to get her help for something. But yeah, Bella wasn't aware that she would be here at the opera, so I doubt that she was trying to get help at the opera itself.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get this vibe that Neyra is doing something, and to bring all, like, at least her and Redcliff and Bella all in one place. I don't know what that is, because there's a lot of moving parts in this whole plot that's about to go down. But I don't know. That's just a vibe I get, because Neyra was the one who invited Will to the opera. So I feel like she had to have known that Redcliff would be there. So I don't know. There's just a vibe.
Yeah, why did she want Will there? Maybe to have this talk and tell him to cut the BS. Like maybe that was the purpose of having him there, a private place to talk.
Maybe like a cover, you know, because like Redcliff showed up with a date, so she probably would want to show up with a date as well.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Okay, fine. A date, and I think I'm going with the theory of like to finally have a talk with him and set things straight. So he says, "Delighted, my lady." Gross. And said, "William Hawke's pleased to meet you." Oh, Duke Hawke's prodigal son. Oh, poor Will, right? This is the reputation he has. He like flinches, and Neyra notices that he flinches because she is smart.
Isn't prodigal means like someone who's gone, so is he referring to Raphael? He's referring to Raphael, isn't he? I don't, because Raphael is known to have been gone for like 10 years. That's why I was like, oh, prodigal as in like he's a prodigy.
It doesn't mean that they're gone. It just means that they're, well, here, like a prodigal son. It's like they're one that you expect a lot out of.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like confused, but it's like, oh yeah, you're the one who's doing all the good stuff, and Will is like expectation, and Neyra's like, Okay.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I see here prodigal is usually, it means like wasteful or extravagant, but whatever, the prodigal son is like the one that you would expect things of. It's so weird. And now I'm looking it up, and I was like, the meaning is different than what I thought, but okay, that's how
I just know the story from the Bible, man.
Yeah. It's probably in the New Testament then, because I did not know it from there. So he says, "I'm honored to meet you. Thanks for all the amazing work you do, especially in these dire times." Okay. He knows how to conduct himself in polite society. It's good. Says, "Thank you, Viscount Redcliff. Your gratitude is much appreciated." And you know, Doris is like, "Oh, I love how she acts. You can like see how she's acting. But Viscount Redcliff, your work is also praiseworthy. I've heard so many great things about you. All the effort you've been doing for the lower classes is admirable." By the way, the word lower classes is so, what's the word?
Classes.
Yeah, classes, right? It's like, I don't know. These days, like people say low income, which at least is a fact, right? Low income, right? But like low classes sounds so terrible.
Like when someone says you have no class, that is such an insult, right? Like that's such an old-timey way to look at it, right? Because you could have no money and still act like respectfully and do good things and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I feel I get that vibe too. It's like, oh, the lower classes are like first class, second class, third class, all that. It's very old-timey.
Yes, our world has changed recently, but yeah, it's a very
Can change more, but
Yeah, I was wondering about this line because last episode I mentioned how like Neyra wants to run away from her wealth, and I commented on that, and I was like, I wonder if by like the end of the comic she will no longer want to be like running away from her wealth, but rather she would direct it to a more helpful cause, like, you know, actually like using her wealth to assist in programs and donate it to charities and such, and build institutions or I don't know if that's the right word, but build things to help other people, you know.
social services.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't figure out the word. But yeah, so seeing Neyra like compliment Redcliff, even though it's probably like she's just doing an act, I wonder if she will kind of like fill in his place once he dies or whatever, probably, or goes to jail.
And inherit all his money.
She probably won't inherit his money, but maybe she'll realize that like, hey, Redcliff did a lot of shitty things, but you know, he did do some social good while he was around, and maybe she'll realize that, like, you know, moral responsibility with her wealth to sort of do the same, just, you know, manipulate a lot less people.
That's great. I just thought of something like so that would be such like poetic justice. What if Bella is the one to kill Redcliff, and then she discovers that Redcliff left her all his money in his will?
I doubt Redcliff cares enough about her to do that.
Right, because like he seems to consider her like a daughter, right? I think.
Maybe.
What if
And,
Bella manipulates the situation to acquire all his wealth after his death? I feel like that's more in character, or at least like he, like, again, what Fwoot said, he probably wouldn't leave stuff to her, but I don't know, she's got, like, you know, connections. If Kieran could make 2 fake people to like take their places as Loon, I feel like Bella could have connections to like edit a will.
Now I have this idea of, like, you know, everything has sort of passed, you know, the climax is over, the world is saved or whatever, and Neyra wants to, like, go on a mission with Bella just to know what it was like, and so so Bella and Neyra, they get into like their spy gear or whatever, and then Bella takes Neyra to go rob a bank and take all of Redcliff's money.
That's
That'd
funny.
be funny.
So many lovely scenarios. So now we have the presenter on stage saying, and now the Mirage Opera House would like to present to you. And by the way, the music in this episode, the scenes, the drama, it was perfect. My heart was like racing, and it was the lighting, the composition of the panels, the setting, the background. Oh, amazing.
I noticed that like recently there have been fewer episodes that have music, and I think part of that is because Soph has probably been working to like create really specific scores that highlight a particular episode, like in terms of its vibe or like the setting or anything like that. So like we've had a few episodes that just don't have music, and now we have this one which has like this really beautiful layered composition that really complements the visuals and like really raises the tension in a lot of the more intense scenes. And I think that that's really cool because like Soph has been able to recycle a lot of the songs that like as a thematic thread through a lot of the previous episodes, right? So I enjoy like not only reusing the old music to kind of link things together, but creating new things to kind of add more color to the story. I think that that's just really cool, and I was just like, God, this music sounds so good.
It's amazing. And like it starts with this hand with the light
That
on.
hand is so beautifully rendered.
No,
The
it's so
lighting.
gorgeous. So it's like the ghost of the cathedral, and we have a clang, the lights go off, they're clapping, everyone's so excited, they're all sitting there, and we see the lights, which by the way, pretty sure those are not 1900s lights, but whatever, just gonna put them.
I mean, they got electricity. I don't know.
It's a mishka bottle.
I mean, they've got like radios, they've got telephones, but they also dress like the 1800s. So a very wide range of inspirations. And it doesn't feel out of place in a way, just because of how like diverse a lot of the technology and fashion and architecture is. Like, I don't know, it didn't throw me off anyways, which I appreciate.
And we see just a really nice view of the theater, which now we pull back, right? We see it's from above, and then guess whose view we are seeing it from? It is our lovely femme fatale, Bella, wearing legit the femme fatale dress. I mean, it's like the super V-neck, dress, like it was like all the way
Like
down.
side boob and everything.
Is that in the thigh slit too?
Yeah, the thigh slit that's like up to her hip.
Right? It's like the two V's are meeting, conjoining.
It works though. I love Bella in this outfit. I love the new hairdo, everything.
She looks
so good.
so good. Oh my god.
Fwoot, it's your turn to simp. We've simped over Redcliff's eyelashes. Please feel free to simp over Bella.
Look, her hair in that bun and then that one strand coming out. Oh my god.
Yes, she looks ravishing.
Yeah.
You should wear your hair up more often. I think she looks really good with it. I like seeing Bella in your outfits. For the longest time, she was just in that one blazer and red corset setup, and she looked good, but she needed to diversify her looks. And she has in the past, like, second half of season 2 and now, and I appreciate that greatly.
Look, I think Bella and Neyra are the two most, like, of the main characters. I think they have the best looks, like, even with Kieran. Because Kieran kind of, like, he has very similar looks, like where his shirts will change colors or whatever. But Bella and Neyra, they never miss. They always look good.
Yeah.
Bella, Neyra, and Redcliff. I hate saying that, but Redcliff has only had one outfit so far. So I'll have to
Other
see.
than his, like, apostle getup.
No, his outfit here is kind of the same as
Oh,
his
I was
apostle
talking
one.
about, like, the hood.
Oh.
one.
Oh. I mean,
Like him dressed as, like, a Death Eater Grim Reaper type.
okay, but
And then
look,
him
among
just
the
dressing
apostles,
like opulent
He has the best
circus
mask.
man.
among the apostles, he still has the best mask, though.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
does.
Sorry. I will defend that with my life.
Man is like a circus guy. He knows how to be dramatic and look good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she looks amazing, and she is peering at what we later see is, Neyra and Will with these wonderful old binoculars, and she is like shocked, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing there, Neyra?"
Honestly, applicable to almost all of Neyra's scenes, because she always shows up in the most random places that we are not expecting her to be. Like,
Exactly.
okay,
I think the most random place we've seen her so far is at Lauren's house, just meeting with the uncles. Like,
I don't know. After we found out she was like with the royal, that wasn't too surprising. It was still pretty jarring, but I don't think anything will beat her showing up at Bella's house or trailer, like right after the circus, or not the circus, right after the New Year's party. Oh my god, that
I
was
just
shocking.
realized not only is Bella working for the Queen to get information about, like, from Redcliff and whatever, but she's
Neyra or
also
Bella?
giving information to Chief of Police and the right hand of the king, and also presumably telling Bella some things. We don't know what, but some things, because we know that she really wants to, like, get out of her situation, potentially make things better. So it's like, how many people is she, like, working with right now to get things done?
It's kind of like Bella too, though, because she's working for the leader, she's working for Apostle 7, and then she's also low-key almost coordinating with Kieran. Sometimes they're not really working together, but they do share a lot of information between the two of them.
True.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it's kind of like they're paralleling each other, but on the opposite sides of the conflict in a way, and meeting each other in the middle. I like that.
Oh, compatible chicas. So
Yeah.
now we see the focus stage again, and Kim is just so excited. She's clapping her hands. She's got stars in her eyes. Like, yeah, the show begins. I read in the pamphlet earlier that this play is written by Morgan Green. So we learn her name, and we see our Miss Blue again. And she'll also be playing the Ghost Day. Isn't that super cool? She's so excited. She's like a little kid at the candy shop. It's really adorable. And Lauren looks at her with a pensive face because she is remembering that she wanted to tell her something. And she's like, I'll ask her later. I'll need to ask her later. Which, by the way, are the most ominous foreshadowing words ever. Like, if you say, oh, I'll just tell her how much I like her later, or I'll just give her the diamond ring later. Like, no, it's not going to happen. Something calamitous is going to interfere.
I hope nobody gets kidnapped. Okay, because Kim's not gonna die, obviously, but or like, so I don't know. Something's gonna happen, and it's gonna suck.
I mean, they are gonna have to deal with a potential murder. So
Several murders potentially based on how many people are converging into this one spot tonight.
oh,
I'm so scared. I'm already scared, right?
Stampede, maybe. But I don't know, because a lot of people were talking, like, even myself, I was thinking, like, what if there was a stampede as people tried to evacuate, right? But also I feel like, is this enough to warrant a stampede? Or people just be like shocked, you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
there is a significant police presence there as well. So, like, will people be able to get out? Then again, crowds
I don't know if it's significant. It's Lauren and Whit and Kim, and then that
But there's
guy
people
in the front.
backstage and stuff. I don't know, like, but yeah, and also it's like a bunch of, like, I don't know, when people are panicked and in a crowd, like, you know, a lot of them kind of act as one gigantic unit to try and like get out of there. But also that means that whoever potentially murdered Morgan could easily get out as well in the rush of people escaping. Or we know that there's probably tunnels underneath the opera house that are linked to the Phantom Sides network. So the perpetrator, if they're not already like there as like, you know, one of the characters we've seen potentially, escape through there and maybe runs into Kieran and Raphael. Who knows?
Right. Well, we could also have a Phantom of the Opera situation where the chandelier goes down and maybe it breaks the floor, and maybe, what do you know, Kieran and Raphael happen to be right there underneath them.
If there's an underground lake underneath this opera house and there's like people singing on it, I would die. I love it. I would love that reference so much.
Yep. There's actually, by the way, on Webtoon, there's someone who's redoing the story of the Phantom of the Opera. It's called The Ghost of, no, it's not called The Ghost of the Opera, that's this one. But it's, whatever, it's a retelling of the story, so.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Lauren's like, yeah, can't wait to see. And they're all, everyone's real quiet. And then we see the curtains have lifted and we have this beautiful setting, which you see in the background here, of the church. Just stunning, gorgeous. We think of Great Chapel because, you know, that's the only other church we've seen, but it's just standard Gothic cathedral, really, really pretty.
Beautiful. Feels
Yeah.
bad for Stove how long this must have taken to model.
I was watching the streams, I mean, and she was doing this a long time ago. So yeah, I don't know, a long time ago, but she definitely took her time on this. And
also the budget for this play must be insane to have such a nice set.
You know, right? Yeah, so on stage we see, you know, as part of the play, there's boards and these people are breaking through the boards. And who is it? We have the two teenage boys, right? How old do they look to you?
Young men.
Okay, like 20s or teenagers?
I would say probably late teens, 20s.
Okay, yeah, and they're like, and then the one is a little darker, one is a little lighter. So we'll get their names in a second. One of them says, see, this cathedral's been banned for decades, but I told you we could get in. They're like typical youths, you know, having to explore, and they're climbing around and they say, whoa, Albion, have you seen this? So Albion is the first boy, and they're looking around and it's beautiful, but it's also, you know, neglected, right? There's things that have fallen, there's cobwebs, things on the floor. So very nice, neglected. And you know, the other boy is like, wow, it's so beautiful, gorgeous. Just that panel of him looking up, it's so beautiful, it's so gorgeous. Yeah, and the light filtering through, it's just amazing.
Mist, fog, love it.
Mm-hmm. And Albion says, we're not here to admire the ruins, Victor. Let's hurry up before the cops notice us. And what are they doing? Of course, they are, you know, stealing valuable objects. He's taking like the candelabra and, you know, and they're taking like the cup, goblet. And he's like, why was this cathedral banned anyways? Surely it can't be just because of the curse. The authorities can't possibly believe in it. And you're like, yeah, there's a curse, kiddos. We know as soon as you mentioned it. Yes, it's because of the curse. And Albion says, considering the number of people who died after coming here, suppose they got tired of dealing with the corpses. It's like, geniuses. Would you go to an abandoned location where everyone who goes there dies? Is that something you would do?
No, but I also know a lot of people who fully would, because they either don't believe it, are thrill seeking, or don't care. Or a combination of all of those. But yeah, not me.
Funny. And then Albion starts sweating. He's like, to be honest, this place does creep me out. Let's hurry. And Victor's like, nonsense. As if a ghost could really be. And then, you know, who descends from the ceiling but a figure. And Albion and Victor freeze. They stare up. We have this ethereal image. Right now she's in shadow, so you don't see her, but you see it's a woman in a, you know, white nightgowny thing and long white hair and a wreath of flowers, and she's stretching out her hand, and it's just all spooky. It's awesome.
Really good atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. And the boys get chills. It's a very classic PH panel. We had like Lauren had it recently, Kieran has that, like the half face. And there's a thump. I think he drops his bag and he just grabs Albion's arm and he's like, "Oh God, run, Albion, run!" And he's yanking him along, but Albion is like mesmerized. He is staring wide-eyed and he says, "Victor, she's crying." Oh, what a sensitive soul.
Soft boy Albion.
I'd like to think he's a sensitive guy. He cares. He wants to help this little ghost, despite how scary she may be.
I'm really curious about the overall plot, because we obviously cut a lot of this play out for the sake of like, it's not really important. It's just kind of setting up what's going on. Like, I want to know the plot of this play. Like, how does it go? It's in the middle that we miss. How does it end? Like,
I'm like getting all invested in like Albion, but like he's an actor, right? Like,
would Soph make like a side comic where it's just this play?
And now we revert back to, we see the box, right, where Neyra and Redcliff are looking at the play, and Neyra turns around and tells Redcliff, "You are no stranger to the art of the scene, Viscount Redcliff. I've heard so much praise about your amazing troupe. I've never had the chance to see one of their performances, though." By the way, I wish we had Lauren here, because I'm like, really? I don't know. Like, did she avoid going to the circus because of Bella, or is she just lying?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was surprised to find out that she'd never been,
So
because I don't know, like how would she meet Bella unless maybe like Phantom Scythe stuff? But
Bella broke into her house one day.
she was returning the favor in '88.
But yeah, I think that it's probably
Positive
a
lesbian
lie, but Bella snuck her in for a show.
Yeah, that's what I like to think. That'd be. I really like the idea that Bella and Neyra met in their teens. So when they were like a lot younger, because I don't know, the idea of like Bella sneaking Neyra in, it does things to me.
Oh. So he leans forward and he says, "It'll be my pleasure to invite you and Mr. Hawks. My elite performers will be performing at my manor for a cocktail party next week." Which, cocktail party, is that the same thing as the ball? Are we supposed to just assume that?
I'm not sure. There's been a lot of debate about that, but right now it would make sense for that cocktail party to be the ball, because it's in a week, right? And we're in February at this point, so
Yeah, I believe that. I think it's probably, maybe it's like one of those things where you have like a pre-event before the big thing for like the public to come to. So potentially it's a more exclusive gathering before the big thing. That, or it's just like a simple like mix of like, they mean the same thing. Like it's supposed to be the same thing potentially. Either way, it's fine. But also I was surprised because I thought that Will would potentially be working that night, but I could also see his dad being like, "No, we must go to the fancy party." So
I also thought he was, right? I'm pretty sure he volunteered.
yeah, I don't know. This all seems kind of scummy coming from Redcliff, because he has threatened Neyra's life to Bella before. And now he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to bring you to this event where I'm having my performers, aka Bella, perform." And it really kind of like just lends itself to the idea or theory that Redcliff is really trying to test Bella right now to see what her actual motivations or priorities are, because she can say all these things in front of him, right, about her loyalties, but if he puts her in the same room as Neyra, then he'll probably get a more accurate read on her.
Also, didn't we say that one of our theories was that he's gonna blow up all the nobles at this ball? Like he's gonna escape and then he'll invite them all, they'll set the explosives, and he'll run away while he kills everyone. So what if he's like, "Oh, Bella, she's being tested by this girl, let me get rid of her. Kill two birds with one stone, make sure she's there at the party."
I mean, imagine he makes Bella like or he lets Bella in on it, and then he sees if Bella tries to save Neyra or not.
Ooh, and you know what could be a good like way for Bella to get around that? Her being like, yo, Kieran, help me save my girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
As like a IOU or favor, so that it's not obvious that Bella is like in on it. I don't know.
Mhm.
Also good Kieran Bella friendship dynamics.
Yeah, I need Kieran wingmanning Bellarcy so bad. It's not a want, it's a need.
Also, if Bella owes Kieran like another favor potentially, then that he could use that to help Lauren potentially in the future, because we know that Bella's like out, like, better watch out, I might be ordered to kill your girl, right? So it's like, I want it. I don't know, I want the drama. But also I want him and her to like see more of their friendship, because I know we've seen a lot of it relatively recently. I want more.
Their friendship is probably my favorite like relationship in the comic, because they just like they always bounce off each other really well. And I don't know, they have a lot more tension, not like romantic tension, but like just general tension that a lot of the other characters don't have, primarily due to just like their backgrounds, you know. So I would really like Kieran to kind of start stacking up on these favors that Bella owes him, you know, and Bella getting more and more like paranoid about them, maybe.
Yeah, because also, yo, what if that's why Bella's in, I mean, hey, what if that's why Darcy's in his cave in the end of that thing, because he helped her out and was like keeping her somewhere, and then he's dead and all that. It's like, who's dead?
Redcliff. Maybe. Okay, so imagine this, like Neyra, Bella, and Redcliff. Like Redcliff is trying to get Bella to kill Neyra or whatever. Bella kills Redcliff. All the like PS goons are closing in. Bella gets Neyra into the tunnels, and she's like, just run, right? And then maybe like Kieran gets her, and they take her to the cave where they're camping out. And Neyra tells Lauren that, hey, Redcliff is dead. Like, you know, Bella killed him. Because I think Redcliff has it coming.
That would be a good solution that would not be painful emotionally to us fans. That's good. Because we were like, well, it could be Sandman, but that's sad. It could be the Tristan, or that's sad. It could be can't be Kieran because that's impossible.
Yeah, God. Yeah, something's gonna happen. I really want it. Like Bella, Kieran, Lauren, Darcy. I need that. I want more of that. So yeah, that's because like, why would she be at Kieran's cave? Apparently nobody knows where it is, to the point where Kieran goes there to hide from the Phantom Scythe, right? So there's no easy way to get there unless you know what's there. So how would Darcy roll up there unless maybe Bella potentially knows where it is and just keeps it quiet, or like he brings her there or she brings her there? There's so many possibilities. But yeah, I don't know. I'm beginning to get that vibe that they're gonna help each other out, and I want it.
Nope. The Redcliff's like, oh, wonderful. Look forward to getting to know you better. And Bella is, you know, watching again within a very concerned, upset look on her face. And, you know, she looks again and then she just like tosses his binocular down and moves aside. And that is a look of jealousy. She is jealous and feels left out because she ain't in that box and her stupid ass dad is. Pardon my French.
I don't know if she can tell what they're talking about, but I think there could also just be like some frustration because she knows that Redcliff kind of actively wants Neyra dead, and she's like kind of far away, so it's not like she can really step in or anything.
Yeah, the feeling I get is that she's seeing them interact, and like she just knows how he is, so she knows that he's probably trying to get closer to her, and maybe even potentially knows that Neyra is trying to get closer to him as well for her own reasons, and she just feels kind of helpless to stop it because she really wants them to be as far away from each other as possible, and they're stuck in this box during this play, and she can't do anything about it because he knows her, and she knows that if she does anything to go there and try to like diffuse that situation, he's gonna know where her loyalties lie, and that's gonna like remove her power that she has within his inner circle, but also like, you know, like what she was raised to kind of do, right? So it's really interesting to see Bella visibly looks so helpless, because we are not accustomed to seeing that from her. She's always the person who's cool and calm and collected, knows exactly what she's gonna do, and then does it, right? Like, never phased, never bothered, can have a sword up to her throat and is just chilling. But when it comes to Neyra, it's clear that she doesn't know how to resolve that situation, and seeing that frustration really kind of humanizes Bella more in a way.
Yeah, her hand is shaking, like with the binoculars. Yeah, I don't know if Redcliff says he wants to kill Neyra. I think he just doesn't, I don't think he's ever said that to her, certainly. I think he just doesn't want her to be standing in Bella's way of her loyalty to him.
I think it's been implied by him that he would like remove her or something in episode 91. And then even Kieran kind of says, what would you do if Redcliff ordered you to kill Neyra?
Yeah. I think that was Kieran saying that to elicit the reaction. But I'm going to episode 91.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that too. I feel
I don't know.
there just have been multiple instances that I really feel it's kind of like a Chekhov's gun situation where it is going to actually happen, because they're kind of like throwing around like what if, all these what ifs. But I think it is something that very likely could actually happen. And again, especially earlier, as we were saying, that Bella can put on this farce, right? And she can pretend to say all these things, but when it really, or she can't pretend, but she can act like all these things. But when it really comes down to it, how will she act? Will she stay true to what she has said, or will she kind of differ from that?
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Anybody here watching Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yes. I saw the new episode today.
That just came out, where it's like, do you really want Anakin dead?
Mm-hmm.
And like the hesitation, because like Bella can say all she wants that she would kill him and stuff, but at the end of the day, that's the man who like raised her, gave her her agency, gave her her power, even though we see that he holds that over her and it's not necessarily true power, but still he's a very important person to her. And I don't know how easy it would be for Bella to kill him. She's accustomed to just killing people she doesn't know, people who go against the cause or whatever, but like, I don't know. I'd be really interested to see, because I could fully see her either just doing it, or I could see her hesitating. I could see her like maybe dealing with like the internal battle in her head and then doing it eventually. But like, yeah, I do think that she will eventually kill him, just because that would be nice poetic justice. But what sort of toll it would take on her, I think, is a different story entirely, and I'm really curious to see where that goes.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a very high tension, like very stressful moment for Bella, and she will hesitate, because there has been sort of this trend with Bella's character about exploring this idea between her and power and her dynamics with power and how she finds power. And there's been a very strong emphasis, especially in episode 115, about how she finds power in violence, because all of these powerful figures in her life, they all were powerful through violence, like her father, or Apostle 7 because he would direct violence, or later because he would also direct violence. Kieran, he's powerful because he's the most murderous and violent assassin, right, in the Phantom Scythe. So in Bella, she has constantly felt powerless or helpless, and so to feel powerful, she resorts to violence, because that is how this is how power is presented to her. And so Neyra and Redcliff pose a dichotomy to Bella, and they're very much two opposite sides. On one hand, you have Redcliff, who represents Bella and how she finds power through violence, because he empowers her violence. He gives her the means and the method, which is the golden viper, venom, and the knife. This is implied. But then you have Neyra, who is very much detached from that violence. And she almost even represents the complete opposite of it, as she is royalty versus like the Phantom Scythe. And it's, again, a very much implied romantic relationship through Bella and Neyra. And so I've kind of seen Bella's character as really moving towards a struggle between finding power through violence or finding power through relationships and love and connections and that sort. And so when
Bella is probably going to be presented with the choice of either killing Redcliff or Neyra. It's really going to be a moment where she has to choose, does she want to empower herself through violence, which is all that she has known, or does she really want to take this step into a bit of the unknown and see if she can find power through being around other people and having those connections and being in love. It's kind of friendship saves the day, you know?
Yeah,
Except it's not friendship.
combine that as well with maybe her friendship with Kieran developing more from like just like kind of the healthy sort of respect backstory that they have to like genuine friendship where they just help each other because they're friends. More of that as well. Just like that would be good as an overall like change, like evolution of Bella's character, and I think that would be really cool to see her choose love and relationships and happiness over power and violence.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. It makes for a good intriguing character study. So now, speaking of another nice character who has depth in him, we have Albion standing, you know, that again, once again, beautiful center. He's just like the spotlight is on him. He's standing there all alone and he says, "I'm not afraid of you, ghost." And his shirt somehow disappeared. I don't know what happened to it.
I think what's implied is that it's maybe a few scenes in potentially, or like, because I feel like every time they cut back to like different people, it's like showing a time skip in the play. At least that's how I interpreted it. I could be wrong.
Okay, I think maybe his friend, you know, he was grabbing his shirt. Maybe he just ran away with the shirt, like holding on.
Show off those arms.
Yeah, and we've had, I'm not the only one, like there's been quite a few people who point out how he's a very good looking young man.
I think one of the top comments on this episode is how cute he is.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see when we get to the bottom. So yes, framed very nicely. And we have the clang and we have the ghost who, you know, is Miss Green. She's descending from the ceiling, and you know, you see the little rope. It's really cute, the harness, right? It's holding
I
her.
love that because it shows kind of like it's a play. And like a lot of the times when you watch these plays, maybe you can see the ropes and the lines and whatever when they catch in the spotlights. And it just adds a little touch of like realism in a way, because you'd see the rope probably. So I don't know, I dig that the inclusion of that to show like it's literally just a lady being hoisted up in a harness.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just enjoy that little touch of like theater and set design and all that. Like, good job to the people who are working on this play.
Yep. And yeah, the framing is again beautiful. Like she's coming down, like she's obviously silhouetted against the glass window, and like we just see the back of Albion's head. Just the composition is just beautiful, stunning. And he asks her, you know, and now we have this another beautiful shot where there's like the stillness, right? You see the light filtering through, and you kind of see the dust particles in the air, and everything's still. And he's just standing there completely erect, not afraid. He's sympathetic to her. He isn't afraid of her. He sees her and he understands her soul, right? And he sees that she's a person. And he says, "What happened to you? How did you die?" By person, I mean, not necessarily a live person. And she says, "Murder. They're all murderers." And you see like there's a lot of dark spots on her face, like potentially like bruises, you know, in her eyes and her cheeks.
I thought it was more to make her look like a skull, because like the hollowed cheeks and the sunken in eyes like make her look more like gives me very corpse bride energy.
Okay. And he says, "Who are?" And then she says, "I cannot remember." And you see some sweat on her face. She says, "They cursed me." And she looks, you know, a little confused, like she's trying to remember. "Condemned me to be prisoner of this cathedral so that I could never tell their secret. But my memories have been erased. I am doomed to haunt these ruins for eternity, not knowing why." And he asks her, "What is your name, ghost?" And she's silent for a moment, turns around, and then she says, "Adaline." It's so pretty. She's very beautiful, even as a ghost or corpse or whatever.
Yeah. What's also cool, I don't know if this is just me, but it's like, you know, that she wrote this play, so she really understands like this character and what they like, what to go for. So I think that you can really see her kind of embody this spirit of this person, and I
Mhm.
enjoy that. She's going hard.
Yeah. And I think obviously what she's saying, we're gonna speculate on that, but like, my guess is that, you know, she's maybe condemning the upper classes or someone in power who murdered her, and she knew something and that's why she had to be killed. And then the fact that her name is Adaline, right? It sounds a little similar to Annabel.
Yeah, that's what I was
Which-
saying, Mindy.
What?
That's what I said.
Okay, you go ahead with the theory.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really out there, but Adaline, Annabelle, they're just similar sounding names. Like the structure of them is pretty similar. Anyways,
Oh, one
Yeah.
other thing. Oh God, what was I gonna say? I hate when this happens. I had it and now it's gone. Her, like, I don't know if this is just me, but like the way that this plays frames, like they're all murderers, like, and I don't know, we know that she's working with Abel Sandman to expose the Phantom Scythe. I don't know. To me, this play almost seems directed to the public about the Phantom Scythe. And before we saw the end of this, I'm like, is she about to like go off script and expose a bunch of shit to like these rich people? I don't know. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I got the vibe that this play was like a vehicle for some other
Message.
message. Yeah.
Right.
they're all murderers kind of reminds me of Raphael telling Will that he's a murderer about their dad, you know?
I
That
thought
too.
it was Orion, and it reminded me of Orion and Sons, where
Yeah,
someone wrote they're all dead.
Oh,
yeah, definitely like
also,
as we get more into it.
Raphael's fiance, what was her name again? That
Talia?
died?
Talia?
What was it?
Talia?
Yeah.
Talia. Yeah, it's like there's some shit going on in here.
Yeah.
Like,
The way we all thought that Morgan was Talia.
wouldn't that be
Well, she could
something?
have a change.
What
her name
if-
or something.
Yep. What if Talia was involved in Orion and Sons and got murdered in that? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
something that people have already said. I've been very busy, so I've not been on the server much. But like, and that
Okay.
was like the last straw that made Raphael dip.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like he was forced, remember though? Right?
I
Like,
mean, if she got murdered, he's got no choice. He can't marry her, right? So I don't know. And we know that like the Sinclairs were involved in all of that. So clearly there were like people in the upper classes who were involved in the print shop and the Snapdragon and whatever. Maybe she and Raphael were in it as well. And one of like maybe they weren't around, escaped. Maybe Will's dad spared him, but also made an example of this woman to be like, this, you have to stay in line. And he was like, or I can leave. I don't know.
I know, so many possibilities.
So many.
I think I like the whole Annabelle thing, because we know that Annabelle was killed. March was like very secretive about it, and he's like, oh, she was, you know, with the wrong people, the criminals of the city got her, right? So like, I think it's possible that maybe it's a reference to her, and like she knew too much, and that's why someone killed her.
I could see that as well, honestly. Yeah. March is so sus.
Yeah, I think Estefina from Facebook group, she said maybe Adaline is Arpalis, and that you know, sort of stand in for that.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's definitely some kind of message.
Mhm.
I feel like it's a
Yeah,
big-
as we get towards the end of the play, I think there's more to talk about it in relation to the themes.
yeah, but I mean, it doesn't look like we're gonna get the end of the play.
Well, yeah, the climax.
I mean,
we
it
got
did
to the climax.
technically end because, you know,
Yeah.
Wait, I have my theory on that. Okay, I have hope, you people, as the eternal optimist. So now we cut to someone's feet, and whose feet are they? They are Sandman, and he's outside the theater, right? We see he goes to the cathedral, and that's all we see of him. But remember, right, there was some kind of plan that he and Morgan and a bunch of other people, right, have been volunteering to do. So it looks like maybe that plan is about to happen, supposed to happen, which is why I'm optimistic, but we'll get to that. And now, sorry, what did you say?
I was just feeling like it's gonna be crazy.
Yep. And now we are in the tunnels. We see Raphael walking around. Raphael always looks sad, right? He's like always looking down. He always looks like he's like hunched over, like he's downcast and downtrodden and like dejected and has accepted his fate. I don't know. That's always the vibe I get from him. He's a very unhappy young man.
He's just very stoic to me. Like, I mean, he abandoned his baby brother, so well, not baby, but young brother. So that's like, I'll leave some guilt on the conscience.
I think he's really just jaded to a lot of the things that are going on. He just has his personal goals that he's like, might as well see this through. I need to see this through. But it's kind of like all the joy has been kind of sucked out of his life, probably.
No,
Mhm.
I think it feels
Sad.
like he has no choice. I think he feels very powerless.
In a way, that kind of parallels Kieran as well, right? Because he kind of is stuck in this loop of like getting vengeance for whatever reason. We still don't know. But yeah, and he's kind of just doing all of these terrible things because he needs to like get his goals done. But we see that he's a very lonely, miserable person beyond that. So I think Raphael is like in a very similar situation.
Yeah. Kieran has some more joie de vivre though. But anyway, so Kieran, now see Kieran pop his head around the corner and he is looking down. I guess he's following Raphael. I'm not sure. It wasn't clear to me honestly when I saw it, but it looks like he is following him. And then, you know, he walks down and he comes across to a fork in the underground sewage system or water system, because the water looks clean actually. And he sniffs, he doesn't know where to go, and he's like, well, if in doubt, always follow your nose. And he goes to the right. And there's Raphael walking along. Raphael, his eyes shift to the side, so it looks like he hears someone behind him. But as you said, very stoically, he just continues. And now we go back to the play. We have the beautiful cathedral. And yeah, some time must have passed because suddenly the church is filled with people. And the ghost is pointing at this man and she says, you. The man steps back, he's aghast, and she says, I remember it now. And she's trembling. You murdered me so that I could not reveal the crimes you have committed. She's shaking, she's pointing at him. And then, you know, all the audience members are crying. So cute.
I want to know what happened before this to make them cry.
You know, right? We're missing out. And this man says, how dare you, ghost? And then she, you know, is stumbling back and she says, so that your lives could live on. I could not leave this world until justice would be restored. And now she stumbles and she's shaking and she's coughing and she's like, I could not. And then you see the man look at her, which I originally thought that this was just part of his reaction. But now, no, it appears that this is a genuine reaction on the part of the actor, not like part of the role. And she crashes and falls down. She's coughing, she's shaking, and she's grasping her throat, she's wheezing. And then the Albion is shocked, and all the other cast members are shocked. She's coughing. Kim and Lauren are shocked. And, you know, Neyra gets up, Will gets up from his seat. And then
Redcliff doesn't get up though. That's sus.
Well, you know what? He's also a heartless mother effer. So even if he didn't know anything about it, I bet you he still wouldn't get up.
You know, man does not care.
Oh,
I
so
think something, Mindy, something that you didn't mention that I think is kind of interesting is that the guy she's pointing to is wearing a lot more formal clothes than Albion.
a lot more what?
His
Formal?
clothes are a lot more formal and
Yeah.
fancy.
Right, definitely. He's some kind
Rich
of
bitch.
why I thought it was an
Yeah. So that's, I wonder what that could mean.
Well, I don't know. What could it mean? I don't know what you're trying to say.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically, they're talking about how like you killed me before I could expose like the crimes that you committed, and this is very much paralleling like Orion and Sons, right? We know that the royals were the ones who sort of ordered and planned the massacre at Orion and Sons, and Orion and Sons were the ones who made the pamphlets and the Snapdragon pamphlets, which sort of exposed the royals, because they would talk about how like the royals silenced other groups and how they wouldn't like fund social services. And so because the royals were so fearful of like the influence that Snapdragon could have, they had the massacre at Orion. And that's very much like what's happening here. We know that the royals would silence reporters, how they jailed reporters. And so
this ghost is very much just becoming like a literal metaphor for how the royals and the upper class have sort of just silenced people who try to speak out against them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
Interesting. Like, I fully see those parallels, but like I also find it interesting because like her and Sandman, they're trying to like expose the Phantom Scythe, but we know that some of the upper classes are also involved in the Phantom Scythe, and obviously their opposition to social reform is what kind of led to the birth of the Phantom Scythe. So it'd be really interesting if they're like, yeah, we're taking down the whole system, the bad guys, the people in charge, everybody, and just kind of like throwing that out there, having people lose their minds. How smart that is to like better things, I don't know, because if you take down the organization, then you also take down the people who are like in charge and have all the resources at the same time. That could lead potentially to a lot of anarchy and a lot of like disruptions that won't go as well. But then I don't know, maybe it'll rally people, maybe other things will happen, other parties come in to kind of help everything, like, you know, a certain like Viscount who's in charge of a lot of stuff, trying to like save everything in the end, who knows. But yeah, I think it's really interesting if they not only go for like taking down the Phantom Scythe, but taking down like the royals and all of their shady business.
Yeah, something. But unfortunately, the play is not proceeding because she crashes down to the floor. She grabs her arm, her neck. She's wheezing, she's gasping. Everyone is shocked. And now she pulls her hands away from her neck, and it's bloody and like there's blood coming out of her mouth. She's shocked. She's looking at her hands. I don't think it's Bella's poison because it doesn't look like it at all. Bella's poison is really fast and, you know, makes the face streak out in like a matter of seconds. And Doom, she just crashes down, and the actor is shocked. All the audience is shocked, and then they say Morgan. So clearly, soon as I first thought it was part of the play, but
Same.
as soon as Morgan.
From the moment she began to cough up blood, I was like, oh shit, because you see like she's getting really sweaty. Like reading it again, it's like earlier she was like a bit sweaty, but that kind of, I don't know, maybe that was a sign that the poison had already begun to like take effect, and it was like slowly killing her as she was on stage. And she's playing a person who's like dead and lethargic and all these things, so that kind of works out. But as it began to take hold more, she begins to like stutter a bit, right? Because I remember when I first read it, I was like, why is she like stuttering a bit, right? Like I didn't know if it was for dramatic effect, but then it's like, oh, and she's really sweaty and she's shaking a lot. And I was like, oh, well, the shaking, she's like a ghost and like all that. But then she begins to stumble and all these things. I'm like, oh god. And then she began to cough up blood. I was like, oh god. So I really like how it's like the acting blended into the death, like the death.
Yeah, I fully did not realize she actually died.
No, people. She's not dead.
No,
okay?
look. I'll
say my theory later. Go.
I saw the blood that she was coughing up, and I remember noting to myself, I was like, dang, this really has high production value. I'm kind of surprised that they would actually like have her coughing blood, because, you know, like on a stage, it's so small that it's really hard to see. But I mean, I guess bonus points for effort, like for the detail. And then later on, when I was talking to people on the Discord, I realized, oh my god, she actually died.
Okay, people. Okay, this is where I'm going to be. This is my theory. Okay, she and Sandman were planning to do something tonight. I propose that maybe this is part of the act. Okay, she's an actress after all, right? And maybe she and Sandman, unbeknownst to the rest of the cast or to most of the cast, are pulling something off, and this is part of it. And you know, we'll see next week how she is really alive and well.
I would love that, honestly. The one thing that kind of makes me lean more to like she's dead is that I just saw a few weeks ago, I saw Moulin Rouge on Broadway. And if anybody doesn't know the plot to that, one of the main characters. I
actually don't know the plot.
Okay.
I don't either.
Okay, well, they show this early on in the play. One of the main characters has like tuberculosis, right? and she like coughs and there's blood, but you only see she has like a handkerchief and she pulls it away, there's a big bloody spot, so even the people up in the back, like how I was, can see, right? So if they wanted to show, like if it was like an acting thing, they would probably have that to like make it obvious for the people in the nosebleeds what's going on. But the fact that it's just these little speckles of blood, well, maybe that was more for like the cast. If she is playing it, it's more for the cast benefit who don't know what's going on, so it looks more real. But I don't know, I think girl might be dead, but also that means that people knew that she and Sandman were planning to expose things and wanted to get at her before that. So
I don't know, that's what I'm wondering. Why would someone want to kill her?
So yeah, I don't know, I feel like you could potentially, Mindy, be onto something, but counterpoint is that she has to fill in for one of the actors last minute to play the ghost, right? Who's to say that it's like not something being pulled to like get her on that stage for that specific purpose?
Or
it definitely feels like she's being made an example of, because I was like, if anyone ever wanted to kill someone, it seems wildly inconvenient to do it like at the climax of their show. Like just do it before or after, not opening night. Like, but no, there was probably a reason that she was like, you know, climax of the show, this is when the poison really kicked in. And honestly, I was thinking that like Lauren knows Bella works with poisons and venoms. We don't really know Neyra, how much Neyra knows about Bella, but because Bella's on the scene, if either Neyra or Lauren see her, I feel like they could suspect her to be the one who killed her. But also, crap, I forgot. Okay, I also feel like this wouldn't be like Phantom Scythe doing, because this play kind of actively supports their cause. So I almost suspect more royal meddling than Phantom Scythe.
Ooh, I just thought of something. So like Redcliff is there, right? So
Redcliff is like a free agent, you know? I feel like he only does whatever he wants. Like
he's a wild card in this whole thing, right? Because he kind of acts in his self-interest, right? And whatever that means to him. So maybe he's the one behind this, and like he's like just kind of chilling in his seat watching this all go down while Neyra and Will and everybody else are just like shocked, like getting up out of their seats, all that stuff. Maybe he was there to make sure that the job got done. Who knows? I don't know. And then maybe framing Bella, but then again, nobody knows that Bella is the Golden Viper killer. And like, so yeah, I don't know. Like, she could have been killed for political reasons, killed by the Phantom Scythe, not actually dead. And this is all a ploy to kind of get their message out there to the people. And that's why Sandman is rolling up. It could be so many things, but we just don't know. And this feels like it's going to be a several episodes long arc now. And I don't know where it's going to go. We're going to have to just see how it plays out. But I would like for her to be alive. You know, she seemed like weirdly charismatic and like cool character design and all that, and her and Sandman. But, you know, we've seen it happen before where a weirdly charismatic, well-designed character just straight up dies immediately. So,
right?
Ratman,
like, I know, right? We were like convinced Ratman, we came up with all these theories, and then he dies. I don't know. I also want Morgan to be alive because she did seem like a really cool character. Like, you know, she's fighting against the Phantom Scythe. She's courageous. She's willing to, you know, risk her life. Like, I want to see more of her.
This is probably so far-fetched. Imagine like Neyra, because of her time with Bella, she just knows a lot about poisons and venoms, so she can just like conjure up an antidote. That's how we get her to survive, you know. Neyra's like,
she's got like an antidote like up in her dress, yeets it up.
By the way.
yeah, you know, just completely out of nowhere. I would accept it, you know.
No,
it doesn't need.
But if she carries around a dagger, like, she better carry around an antidote with her, because like she could accidentally, you know, pick herself or whatever. Like, I feel like she should have it.
You can get an anti-venom before it, especially from snakes, right? Like, you make anti-venom to treat like venom with that. But the thing is, we don't know, is it a poison, is it a venom? Because as we know, those are two different things and act differently depending on how it's administered. But Yeah, this seemed to be like a slow acting poison that killed her.
Yeah, I think it was
Someone
definitely more
backstage.
poison.
Like something going on in this theater, and from what is implied, these, I don't know, I feel like there are tunnels under the opera house that are linked to the Phantom Sites network. So like someone could have done it and dipped like hours before we got to this point. Like we just don't know. And it's gonna be so much going on in these next couple episodes, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, didn't she cut her leg
Yeah, she
after
did.
doing the
She
spine?
got
So,
shot, yeah.
But I think
So
I thought
that-
the leg cutting was, I thought she like banged her foot on some random thing.
No, a bullet like grazed her leg because the it was the apostle and the guy who was meeting him at the docks were like shooting at her and she got grazed on the leg.
But why would the guy carry around a poison gun? Like I think it would just be a
it
regular.
wasn't, no, I don't think it was a poison gun, but I think that maybe someone identified that wound and then was able to like
Ooh.
slip poison into her food or something.
That could be a possibility.
But we'll really just have to see, because I don't know, it'd feel kind of weird for her to get shot and for us to know that she got shot at and to have that wound and then to not ever do anything with that. So I'm thinking that maybe, just an identifying mark.
Yeah, because they kind of used it in the episode to kind of show that it was her who was spying, but it could just serve a double meaning as like being a way for like a bystander to have identified her based on that flesh wound and then targeting her accordingly. Because well, she rolls up to the theater like the day after, or like maybe a few hours after she got shot, and is told, "Hey, you're gonna need to replace this actress." So who's to say that nobody like identified her in like that intervening time?
I don't know. So many possibilities, and yeah, like you said, we'll just have to wait. I'm curious. I just don't want her to be dead. But now, as if we don't have enough drama and enough of a cliffhanger to end this episode on, we now go to Kieran walking along surreptitiously, or so he thinks, in the tunnel. Tap, tap, tap. Head is forward. He's leaning forward. He's looking, and he's walking. And then we see another set of feet behind him. And then we have a caulking sound. And then we see a long panel of Kieran. And guess what's being held to his head? A gun. Why? Presumably Raphael. Boom, boom. And by the way, when I read this, I was like, I don't curse usually so much, or at least not out loud. I curse in my head sometimes. But I was like, what the F, the whole, like 10 times in a row. Like, what?
Really?
I
Because
began
I'm
to
like,
do that as well, but it was
Wait,
more
really?
from the moment that I saw both Sandman and presumably Kieran converging to this one spot. I was like, oh shit. I had to like throw. I put my phone down. I was like, oh god, and then I began reading more. I was like, oh my god.
okay, because I saw Kieran get a gun to his head, but I'm like, okay, that's cool, dude. I like.
Over
Well,
Kieran,
you
like,
didn't realize
No,
that the
but
lady
it's
died on stage either.
I mean, no, but look, we know Kieran has plot armor. He's had plot armor for over 120 episodes now. Like, he is armored to the max. He's not dying to like season 4,
I'm just scared.
Or maybe the end of season 3. Who knows?
I don't think he's gonna. You're right. I don't think he's gonna die. I think him and Raphael are gonna have a discussion. Raphael's like, "Why are you following me, bro?" And he's like, "Well, reasons." And then they talk, and then maybe they'll work together. That's what I'm hoping.
You know what sucks is that I think they're gonna spar probably, but my worry is that Raphael clocks who he is and reports it, and they're already sus of Kieran. So like, I feel like it's gonna potentially just dig him into a bigger hole than he's already in.
But the thing is, what's the problem? He's allowed to walk around the tunnels, right? He's a member of the Phantom Site. Like, he doesn't have to admit that he was following Raphael. He could just be like, "Oh, I was going for a stroll, or I was going to my apartment, or whatever." Like, there's no problem with him being in the
I don't know. I
tunnels.
still think he is in a very precarious position in the organization, and they're not really doing anything about it to give him a false sense of security, but also to kind of see what is happening. So like, he probably won't face any repercussions immediately, but I feel like it's gonna stack up against him, and they're building up that he is going to be dealt with soon in one way or another, and that
I'm scared.
concerns me.
I don't want him to be dealt with.
Me neither.
Save the boy.
And then the whole he's dead thing is also hanging over our heads, like we talked about earlier. And who's to say they don't use that as like the thing where it's like, oh, he's dead, but he's like not dead. Like Neyra thinks he's dead, but he's actually not dead. Like, because remember, it's what you believe. And we see that that's written, he's dead is not a lie. But it's also like, if you believe something that's objectively false, it would sound true to Lauren. So
I love that idea. Also, the time, remember it said 1 month later, and I think we are 1 month later.
almost, I think 1 month lines up to Redcliff's ball.
No,
Mhm.
I don't know, because remember she took like, didn't she take a couple of weeks?
It was the 1 month later came around, I think July 27th, sometime there.
January.
Sorry, I always mix those up. January 27th, yeah. I'm not sure if it is the 27th. I just know it's somewhere in the 20s, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, Kieran says the date, like the morning that Lauren wakes up after her
Yeah.
injury, and she
Yes.
presumably got taken home later that day, and that's when she meets up with Kim and Will.
Mhm.
That's what I always thought anyway. Or within the day of that episode coming out is when she Kim and Will rolled up to her house. But
1 month.
oh yeah, no, it has to be the same day because like in episode 112, she says, Kieran, I just saw you like a couple hours ago. Like, why are you here? So that's just like the implication, I guess. But
Oh,
yeah,
so
1 month later, and the ball is on like what, the 14th? Or am I mixing things up?
17th, I think.
17th.
November 17th, and they wanted to move the explosion up to the 14th. We weren't sure about that. Okay.
Also, the thing with 1 month later, is it exactly 1 month? Like, it could be more or
Right.
less. It's more of a general term. We don't know. Like,
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to
Oh.
find for it. I didn't even know
it's the
date.
24th, I think.
yeah, okay.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys are
Nine.
checking that.
So let's say about a week after.
Oh, here. Oh, yeah,
Yes, I do.
24th, yeah. That's in episode 109.
So presumably a few days after the ball, unless they pushed back the ball a bit. Because wait, didn't they say that they were going to try and push the ball back because of the drama, or no?
No,
They're keeping it. They considered like canceling it, I'm pretty sure, but they decided to keep it.
I don't know why I feel like they said something about like delaying it a bit, but no, yeah, I think you guys are right.
Mhm. So much drama. Well, I'm happy Raphael and Will, and Kieran meet, because I think we're going to get some good information, some more understanding of what Raphael is doing, something like we'll get some information, I think.
I was saying in the server after the episode came out, what I'm really looking forward to from like how this whole arc is now set up, I want interactions between characters who we haven't seen interact much with. I want to see, specifically, I want to see Lauren see Bella and immediately suspect her because the lady just randomly coughed up blood and died on stage. Interaction there. I want to see Kieran fighting Raphael, gets away, but then is in the middle of all of this shit going on now. Maybe he sees like, I don't know, other stuff. Maybe he sees Kim, maybe Kim and Will see him potentially, either one of them. Maybe he interacts with Darcy or Redcliff or Sandman. I want to see like, what if he and Sandman like meet up, and that's going to be a whole thing because, you know, murdered his daughter, but he's like, it's not his fault, but still, right? Like, I don't know, there's so much potential for character drama within this like crazy situation, and there's going to be a lot of people panicking, probably trying to get out of the theater, like we said. And I think there's going to be a convergence of like a lot of the Phantom Scythe stuff, the Royals and their like supporters and their resources, the police, and then like all of our individual players and their desires. And it's going to be insane.
Yes.
Yeah, really, very much the precursor to the gala. But I also feel like, I also feel like this arc could be setting up all like the main characters kind of working together in the gala, you know, almost. Because that was the event that we knew would sort of bring everyone together. But now we're having this other event that is also sort of bringing everyone together. And so it's going to give them all like sort of the knowledge of each other going into the gala, where everyone's going to sort of be doing their own thing at that point.
Oh, what if this event is what delays the ball to have it be maybe a week later, because it's a classy opera house, and because of all this, they're trying to like up security more potentially, and that's why it gets delayed. I don't know, sorry. just thought of that. But yeah, you continue, Fwoot, sorry.
Yeah, I also kind of want like Neyra to realize, or Bella to realize that Neyra and Lauren both know each other. Neyra to realize that Lauren is onto Bella. Like, I don't know, I was thinking Lauren like kind of like about to throw hands with Bella, you know, because she's like, I know you did it, because she's like the only poison person that Lauren can think of. And then Neyra walks in and she's like, oh shit. You know.
I want all four of them, like Kieran, Lauren, Bella, and Darcy, to be like the
Mhm.
Spider-Man meme. It's like,
No, actually, I want a moment where like there's just complete chaos going around. Then Karen and Neyra want to run into each other, and I like to think that they're old friends because Karen is aware of her. So they're just like, "Oh, hi, Karen. Hi, Neyra. How have you been? I don't know. Trying not to get blown up, you know." Just greeting each other like old friends.
oh,
I
you
have
know what?
simple needs.
Bella doesn't know that Lauren is involved with Kieran or knows anything about her, right? The only time they've been near each other, as far as as far as Bella knows, is when she knocked her out when she had Tim stake up against a wall at the end of season 1. So, like, for her to like follow Bella, I feel like Bella might put 2 and 2 together and realize that Kieran and Lauren are like working together,
Well,
which is something she can
no.
hold over Kieran potentially.
She has
Ah.
known
But
Bundin.
she knows that, like, oh, it's your girlfriend, like, oh, do you care about her, like all that stuff, like, but I don't know if she realizes that he and Lauren are like Loon and like working together specifically. Or she might think that he's a part of Loon, but like, I don't know. I think but this could potentially confirm that in her mind, and then she has to make the decision of whether or not has to report that now, because the leader is very specifically interested in finding who they are, and if she knows that Kieran is a part of it, it kind of is a conflict of interest for her now. Well, it's always been, but
Yeah.
now more so.
I kind of feel like she has known that he was Loon for a while now, because like just 72 chapter 72 is literally called like Bleak Bluff. So I you know one of the two a while back said that lying doesn't look good for you or something. I think it was when they, or no, it was like spying isn't a good look for you or something like that. Bella said that to Kieran in like the 30s.
But it was the opposite.
Maybe, I literally
Wait,
cannot
no,
remember,
didn't
but
she? I think
they're
when they were carrying out what's Stan's body, no? It's in
Go back like
maybe
recently.
I can't remember if it was recent or like at the very beginning of their relationship, but at one point the other was able to pick up on some deviousness from the other. And so I think they've known each other. Like Bella should know that it's Kieran, because out of like a lot of the people that she talks to, he's probably the most like against the Phantom Scythe that she's seen, because she even comments about how like she doesn't really understand why he's still in the Phantom Scythe, because what she presumed to be his motivation is like long gone now. And so I feel like it wouldn't be hard for Bella to put 2 and 2 together and be like, yeah, Kieran, I know you're Loon. I've known. And then also, I mean, because like if Kim can figure it out, so can Bella. And then also I feel like Bella would be like, you aren't the kind of person who would just start dating someone for information. You have a much more personal relationship with this person.
I can see either one, honestly, like working. Like me personally, I feel like this might connect it, and then she might hold that over Kieran as like, I don't know, something to kind of help her out. Maybe that's what she uses to have him help Neyra, or I don't know, something. But she could fully just like know already and have not said anything, but I don't know.
I was thinking about Kieran's line, "You're no stranger to the game," about how they kind of use people to get information. And now I'm wondering if maybe Bella and Neyra met because Bella was on some mission to get information about the royals or something. Because it seems like she's very much aware about Neyra's connection to the nobility, since she calls her princess. So
Probably.
I'll probably get a flashback, I'm sure.
But yeah, I think F and Soph put it best and their little comment at the end, so it begins, right? Like,
Yes.
I think we're going to get a lot of revelations, character moments, character interactions, drama, death, a lot of moving parts here. Yeah, so many things at stake, so many things for the characters to lose, to gain, to learn. I'm looking forward to it. And I wish we could get more, like, it's like, oh, give me like batches of episodes instead of just the ones, but also the anticipation adds to it a lot.
It's funny because, you know, we're like, oh, we want more. These episodes are so long. I'm so impressed. Like, as I was scrolling through, I'm like, just goes on and on in a wonderful way. I'm so happy. Like,
I really want to see a chart comparing like episode lengths throughout the entire series, because I know back in season 1, the finale was like the longest one at that time. I'm wondering if these current episodes are like the same or even surpass season 1's finale length.
well,
Yeah, I know.
Ishmael was the one who counted them. So
Yeah, I was going to mention him, but I don't know if he is really into Purple Hyacinth enough anymore to count all the panels. So
maybe I'll do it. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll
I
do
see how
it
bored you get
myself.
one day.
I think we could just ask Webtoon. Like, you know,
We could just
Mhm.
count. We each get assigned episodes and just count, put it in a spreadsheet.
I could coordinate that. That's easy.
Honestly, I feel like because we plan the events, Bundin and I sometimes, we could probably garner enough help to do that.
Yeah, honestly, like we plan secret sounds on the server. We can do anything.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. We've done the anniversary events. Everything else, so much more simpler than that.
Agree.
Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
anyways, excited to see if there's a stampede next chapter. Again, I don't really know if this is enough to cause that much panic, but you know, you watch someone die on stage, it might be.
collapse. Okay, death is a strong word. We don't know yet.
Mhm.
Inclusive.
I,
Am I the only I'm literally the only one who thinks she's still alive.
I don't know, like you cough up some blood, kind of serious. Also, her laying down, like if you just zoom in on it, it's kind of funny. Like
It's
she's
just like she's gone, right?
it's like-
just like
Like
a
a
pile of
potato
clothing.
sack.
yeah, and
Hang
everyone's
on,
just
let's
like
see.
standing around her. But yeah, it's kind of suspicious how Redcliff doesn't stand up. Like
You
Neyra
think he'd be
immediately.
a better actor, right? Like,
Yeah,
at least
he's just
feign
sitting there, you
concern.
know.
Well, as we said, I think he's just heartless. Like he doesn't give a shit. Sorry. Ow.
Yeah, Mindy, weren't you just like, yeah, I think he could get redeemed?
It's true. Fine. See, you so thoroughly convinced me, Fwoot.
What's gonna happen with him too? What if he escapes through the tunnel and sees Raphael and Kieran fighting? He's just like, oh shit.
You're like putting together like all these. You really do want to see
There's
combinations.
so how many characters do we know that are in this place? We've got the main 4. Bella,
Mhm.
Darcy, Redcliff, Sandman, Morgan, dead on the stage. It's like 9 people.
Yeah,
Main
Doc.
4. Yeah.
If we only had Lucas, Lila, Doc, and Tristan, and then we'd have basically everyone.
We'd have basically everyone that we care about.
Well,
add,
is this
add Arthur for
Yeah,
some
that's the game.
spice, you know.
Add Arthur for some spice. I bet that Lady A and the Butler are somewhere in that audience. And they're
Oh,
gonna show up.
yes.
Oh my god! I bet. Oh my. They're
Oh
gonna
my
show
god,
up.
Lady A is gonna blame the death on Loon.
right?
She's gonna be like,
But Lady A is
"There's
always
something-"
right. That's the thing, right? About the side motives and not like her own personal thing. She's like, what if the people running were them? And like this woman like left her coat. Like
Yeah.
I just, oh my god. Like the lines you can draw between everybody, groups of people that we've never seen interact, is gonna be insane to see.
Mhm.
I am personally so down for watching Bella in this opera arc. And I know I kind of say that with like all the Bella chapters, but this is especially here because everything with Bella is kind of building up right now, and it's probably going to climax at the gala. But here it's like, you know, Neyra and Redcliff in the same room. Redcliff's been pretty sus, and someone just probably died on stage. Like, I'm wondering if she's going to get protective and if she'll try to seek out Neyra.
Bella's no, Lauren sees Bella and Neyra together, and she's like, the fuck? Like,
Look, I think Kieran's gonna have to be like, because Kieran, I think he low-key ships Bella and Neyra.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be like, okay, look, you're kind of low-key partnered up with me. Okay, it's fine if she does it too. If Neyra's partnered with Bella.
he's
That
like,
would be
listen, I know you're partnered with her. I won't say shit if you don't say shit about me, Lauren. Good? Like Bella and Kieran shaking hands. Like,
Reveals.
Bella, what if Bella pulls Neyra into the tunnels and then they all see each other? There's so many possibilities of
Neyra in the tunnels. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many things. So many people can meet, talk, meet each other in passing, interact without
each
realizing
other.
who the other person really is, like in terms of like their goals and stuff.
See, we don't even need the masquerade to do that.
Yeah. The
What is Kim
possibilities
gonna see and
are
learn?
endless.
Like,
Oh my god, no. Kim's literally, she doesn't know who Bella is, right? So she's just gonna see Neyra in this really hot woman and she's gonna be like, crap, she got a girlfriend.
and then
Right.
Will's gonna be like, yeah, she's gay apparently, and she's like, yeah, I just saw her with this beautiful pink-haired chick, and then Lauren's just there like, what?
Yeah, Kim's gonna be like, that pink hair chick has no idea how lucky she is.
Say what?
Yeah, RP Kim, when she finally learns out who everyone is, she's gonna be like, okay, so this really hot lady, right, is dating the Golden Viper. Kim's in for a rough time.
Yep. Poor girl.
Also, I feel like
When-
Kieran might potentially be exposed to Kim
Mhm.
and or Will. I feel like maybe Kim, just because Kim's the only one who doesn't really have, because like Will is with Neyra and Redcliff right now, so I feel like he might be more involved with that group. Kim, I
Mhm.
feel like, might learn some other things that are relevant in this
Yeah.
one.
Like, I feel like Kim might learn who Bella is, or she might just she might get really suspicious of Bella because Lauren is going to get suspicious of Bella, right? And then if Kim is with her, then she might notice Lauren's behavior towards Bella becoming more hostile. And so she might get kind of weirded out by that. But I'm also kind of surprised that we haven't really seen Kim think about Kieran being the purple hyacinth.
Yeah,
Like, she just hasn't wondered about it at all. And I'm like,
well, she
it's-
said it, but right, we didn't see anything past that one line.
Yeah, that one
I mean,
line, and kind of like how Lauren's like, yeah, they're probably suspicious of you.
yeah, it's implied that Kim knows. I'm still kind of like surprised that we've never really seen Kim think about it, and we've never really seen her be suspicious of Kieran following
Right.
that line.
Now, as she sees this like guy who's his same height and build and has his same dark hair poking out of his like hooded mask, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Again,
Actually, I don't think that Kieran and Raphael will interact with the opera crew at all. I think it's like two separate stories.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was implied. Like it could just be they could be fully on the other side of town. We don't know, but like I don't know. The implication of like Sandman rolling up there and then Kieran in the tunnels kind of told me in my mind that it was around the same place. I don't know. That's just the vibe I got. Again, I could probably be wrong, but
Wait,
Yeah, I was wondering if the tunnels were
Tunnels?
actually.
I didn't even
under
think about
the-
that. Are you
yeah,
saying
like
Kim?
narratively, like and visually, it shows like it's the play going on. Then we cut to Sandman like walking in through the front door, and then we immediately cut to the tunnels and Kieran following Raphael, and that kind of
Interesting.
told me subconsciously that they were heading to the same place. Could be a different place, but it, like I don't know. That just like told me that it was a similar setting. But
Uh-huh.
again, that was just like personal interpretation, and I don't know if that's like agreed upon or like the intention.
Right here. That's an interesting idea. And we see the vent specifically when we pull to Kieran at the tunnel. So it could be that's the vent that they could come out of into like the upstairs. Interesting.
Yeah. And we know that the tunnels are all over the city as well. So and then Kieran specifically talks about all of the underground tunnels right before Lauren goes to the play. So I don't know, like subconsciously I was just interpreted it as, oh, he's also in the area, but or at least some characters from that place are gonna go and see them in the tunnels. Maybe it's Redcliff escaping. Maybe it's Bella with Neyra. Maybe it's, I don't know, other people, like Lauren following other people, and then she's down there, and who knows?
Yeah. So many possibilities. Well, any last things to say before we close the episode?
Bella and Neyra interacting with literally anyone. I need it.
Yeah, you just want Bella and Neyra for Larcy content.
It's good content though. They never miss.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on what's happening, I feel like that's implied that they're going to interact.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
just there's shit going down, and Bella is going to at least want to watch over Neyra. So who knows? And then there's just so many there's so many moving parts, and then the potential interactions that come out of that. And I'm just very excited to see where it goes. Pair that with the author's note at the very bottom.
Yeah.
It's something big is going to happen, or many things are just going to happen now that are going to shape like how the story is going to proceed. And I'm very excited, but also nervous potentially, even though I think pretty much all of the characters that we named have some form of plot armor involved. So yeah, because Redcliff has like his own stuff going on. He's going to be fine. The main four are going to be good as well. They've got their own outstanding character arcs. Neyra has her own stuff. Bella has her own stuff. Like, but they can always be maimed. They could always be like kidnappings and all these other things going on. Like, so many things that they can do in the chaos of what's about to happen.
And it doesn't really feel like that, but we are very much almost halfway through what people would consider a season. We're like maybe like 22 episodes in. Yeah, of this season, which is
Almost
insane
halfway.
to me.
It started from 105, so about 130 would be halfway for the typical like 50-ish episode structure that's established.
And so I could see this arc very much being like original circus arc length or factory arc length, because the factory arc also sort of happened 2/5 through the way of season 2, and this arc also somewhat started through 2/5 the way of season 3.
And then also just the fact that we have longer episodes, it might be about the same length, but we get more per episode potentially. Either way, we get the same amount of content probably, so I'm down.
Yeah, I kind of like see this as the circus arc of season 3, and then the gala or ball or cocktail party, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the factory arc of season 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Will might see Raphael there if he is there. Oh my god, there's so many things that could happen that I haven't even thought about, but I'm excited.
Yeah, you're coming up with so many scenarios.
If there's like 9 people we know, there's like
how many permutations and combinations can you make?
Exactly. Like, was it like gonna be 9 by 9, 81? Not counting groups.
I don't know, because whatever.
I'm bad at math. I don't know.
I mean, I learned this several times, and I know it for like the period of a month after, and then I forget about it. But yeah. Anyway, I am excited. We're all excited. So yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, very excited. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. All right. Have a bonne nuit. Good night.
Thank you so much to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Jenny, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe Rochelle, Saucy Tuggles, Ann Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Emilda, Esther, I'm Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Erin, Kate, Lily, Beckett, Samantha, Christine, Sadie, Kelly, Teresa, Mrs. Castaldo, Diana, Louisa, and Rachel. Your support is truly appreciated.